There it is.
Hey, we're live. It's Kornelia
Yay!
Stephanie and Dr. Brook Sheehan. We're here on episode 10, Truth Bombs and Coffee. And this morning, I don't have my coffee.
I drank my coffee before I even came to this call.
A little bit later because we're doing it at 9:30 now. I've definitely had my 2 cups of coffee. But I want to tell the audience a little bit about you wrote this beautiful intro for us, which I really like. And
Oh,
because
thanks.
again, we're rolling out the Truth Bombs and Coffee to, share with us, share with you, the audience, our version of our truth. And,
Mhm.
everyone has their own belief system and their own narrative. And so it's not about dividing people, but it's about acceptance and unconditional love. And so that's what this show is about. And in the intro, you were talking about, you wrote, in a world where fact is fiction and fiction is fact, where parts are shown and others are hidden, where neighbors are enemies and digital people are friends, it's no wonder so many of us feel lost and confused. Trump's Off, a show built on love, light, and acceptance for others, no matter what side of the fence they're on, because quite frankly, we're knocking those fences down. It's time. Welcome to Truth Bombs and Coffee with Dr. Brook Sheehan, Kornelia Stephanie.
Woohoo! Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's Truth Bomb Thursdays, right? I love that. And when I wrote that, I was just really feeling inspired by what we're doing on the show and what we're talking about. And, the unconditional love for humanity, for our brothers and sisters, regardless of what side. Because it's no longer about trying to continue this division. This is obviously, we've seen over the last nearly almost 2 years now, 18 months. I don't know. There's so many, is it this many days, whatever. But we've seen how much division has occurred.
Yeah.
And it's a really sad thing. And I think right now, as we're transitioning into going into another year, and I love, your description on 2022. What do you call it? The year of the master
Yes.
number or master
Yeah.
builder number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, there's this phase where we're kind of letting go and leaving all of this old stuff behind and moving into a new time period, a new rebirthing. And I think just in general, like pushing down those fences and really coming back to loving our neighbors, loving our people, and loving one another.
Yeah. So, 2022 is a master builder year. So
Hmm.
you were talking about knocking down those fences. So that can even be, flushed out even further. Everything that's corrupt, everything that's not sustainable,
Yes.
everything that's not in organic timeline with the new earth, that's going to sustain the physical body, that's going to sustain the relationships, that's going to sustain the earth, all the way from the way that we relate with our government to the school
Mhm.
systems, to the pharmaceutical, the medical, to all of those ways, that all those systems that had been put in place,
Mhm.
that we bought into, and we're told this is how this is how this is, and then we
Yeah.
just said yes to that, right?
Right.
And then as we are moving through our life and the light is coming in on the planet, and it's activating within us these emotional triggers that are like, wait a minute, I don't
Mhm.
think this is true for me today. And
Mhm.
that's what, those are the fences that are being knocked down. Everything that's kind of, it's hard to look at the mess. It's hard to look at the mess. It's hard to look at the suffering. It's hard to look at the chaos. But
Yeah.
it's really one thing that I'm really digging and enjoying, that people are standing up and speaking out in whatever capacity they feel called to
Yes.
do. I wouldn't necessarily feel called to go, downtown Seattle with a big, huge sign. That's not, that's not,
Blowhorn.
yeah. Well, maybe a horn. Maybe if I'm in a car and maybe I depends. It's like maybe I'll, with a horn and then ask the universal question or something like that. Everybody,
Yeah.
how is Paul serving you or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be, but
Yeah.
so whatever way that is, it's coming up for people so that we can
Yeah.
build 2022 is about building new structures that are
Right.
supporting us. But first we have to know what we value
Mm-hmm.
and what we believe in, what's
Mm-hmm.
important to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not buy into the narrative that's not working.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. Gosh, you said so much, and I want to unpack some of it and leave the rest there. It honestly, I'm just okay. First off, let's talk 2022 and in the builder year, and we're knocking things down and building things up, and foundationally being or coming to this point of taking care of self so that we can give. Like, is it self-sustaining? This is something you always are asking me. Is that self-sustaining? Is that self-sustaining? Are you putting too much in your schedule? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And I'm guilty of that to some
No,
degree.
Dr. Brooke, no.
Not
Just we don't do guilt in the new earth.
okay.
Guilt has been long removed from the vocabulary. So right away, it's that
I
guilt is a useless feeling. It's not even an emotion. It was a religious program. It doesn't serve anyone. The only time that I would say that it would be okay for you to use guilt is if you committed a crime, and if you said, yes, I did, and then
definitely did not commit a crime.
it's not acceptable.
Definitely did not. So I am. Well, what would I say? Like, what would be a better replacement
Bad
in that?
habit. I have a bad habit.
Okay. So I have a bad habit of not necessarily taking care of myself or having self-sustaining practices.
Yep.
And, Cornelia and I have been talking a lot through this. And so all of this to kind of go back to, the idea that everybody has their own way of speaking out or speaking their truth or sharing with the world, right? It's not Cornelia is not going to downtown Seattle. I'm not going to downtown San Diego with, signs and picketing and what, but within our ethos or within our like community and our network, we are building or we're being able to shine that light, and that light is shining, and it's brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter the more that it continues to go out. And so yeah, absolutely.
I think that, and just knowing what it is that right now, how I love using astrology, right?
Yes.
So Venus right now is in Capricorn, and
Uh-huh.
very soon she's going to be in Capricorn for like 4 months. Okay, so like right now this is happening,
Yeah.
and so pretty soon, like I think in like a week or two, Venus is going to begin her annual retrograde cycle. I think it happens every 2 years. So she's getting ready to go retrograde in Capricorn, which means that Capricorn is all about our foundation. It's all about the earth. It's all about like the mountain goat, like one very slowly, like, okay, very slowly, like, going up the mountain.
Yes.
And
Yes.
building from there. So, and the beautiful thing about Venus, she's all about her abundance. She's all about her values. She's all about beauty. She's about harmony. She's about relationships.
Mhm.
And so think about what we're getting ready to do in these next 4 months. So if you're in your life and you're looking at going, oh my God, this isn't working. I don't like this. I don't like that. This is too much. This time period right now over the next 4 months is helping us to go slow,
Yep.
to define what self-sustainability means to you. What do
Mhm.
you want to build in your relationships? If something's
Mhm.
not working anymore, let that go. There's something better.
Mhm.
And over the next few months, Venus in Capricorn is going to help us do that. So from now until end of February, early March, we've got this influence, which is really, really great. So those of you that like what I'm talking about, that want more of this, I have the daily practice. It's a club. It's a secret society.
I
that
I'm part of that secret society and I love it. Every single morning when I'm making my coffee, I'm listening to the daily practice. You mentioned the mountain goat, climbing up, and that was part of your daily practice, I think, just a couple days ago.
yeah.
You talked about it. So, yeah,
Yes,
for
the
those of
daily
you who,
practice is there, so that people can practice raising their vibration every day
yep,
and being part of a community and
yep,
having like 10 minutes. Because if you don't have a spiritual practice, that was the other thing, Dr. Brooke, is that like when you look at our old world,
hmm,
one of the mistakes, well, I shouldn't even say it's a mistake because everything is about our growth. One of the things that was not a consistent thing in our lives was our relationship with the divine,
yep,
was
yep,
our relationship with God, with source, was the way that we viewed our spirituality, right? That
yep,
was one of the things because the religions had taught us to, look for God in the sky outside of yourself. And then, the churches and the whole religious programming and all the different things. So, what we had to learn to do again is to become intimate with Source, to become intimate with God, to become intimate with the divine. And that's the foundation.
hmm,
If we don't have that, you might as well hang it up because it's it's the will of the divine that is taking the planet back to its
yeah,
original designed destiny.
right,
And so first thing we had to do is we had to get intimate again with what's our value, what's our relationship with God, with source, with however you define the creator.
yep,
Because again, it's not about one religion, it's not about
mhm,
one way, right? We had to first get clear on that. And
mhm,
so those of us that are sitting here now and you know the people that have been doing this work, the spiritual work was the big one. It was the first thing that had to happen. So if you are just beginning the awakening journey here, spirituality is going to be the first thing that's really going to call on you to get intimate with God, with Source, with the universe, with your Creator, and then work on the other three bodies: the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body.
absolutely. All those four legs have to be physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, have to be foundationally there for you to have full expression of this embodiment of who you are and what you've been called here to this planet, to this earth to do. Um, so the daily practice
Mhm.
has been so pivotal for me and just really like tuning in. So I've developed this intuitive side and this ability to connect with source, to connect with the divine like within me, right? And this is a lot of the work that I do with my patients is really acting as a vessel.
Yeah.
Of course our ego and our human nature, wants to be like, "Oh, well, good job, Dr. Brooke. Yep, 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 round of applause." And it's so interesting because it literally will happen for a second and then I'm like, what? No, like that's not me. Like my patient success stories aren't me. I'm just acting as a vessel, as a like conduit
Right.
in helping them get the information that is being given, right? And so I just wanted to say that with adding in the daily practice on top of what I'm already doing is just been like an extra, like a little like a starburst, or like so I don't even know. I don't have the words to express the emotion that I wake up with a smile and I'm like, all right, let's get on. What's it gonna be?
Right. That's kind of fun
Yeah,
because it's kind of like, it's just having a daily spiritual practice, something to
yeah,
focus and energize your thoughts for today so that you can bring your physical body up into higher vibrational ways of living and being. That's
absolutely.
that's what it's for. And that's why Source, inspired me to create this structure so
Mhm.
that I can gather the tribe and gather a community that where people come together and they focus on that high vibrational thought. And of course, I bring the tarot in there. I bring the shadow in there. I bring the all of it,
Yep.
because it's all in there. But it's 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes a day, and it's a way for you to connect and be part of a community, to know that I belong here. I belong with my people. And guess what? You know what's the funnest? The funnest is that we're all working on the same thing
Yep.
in our own unique way.
Mhm.
So, the whatever is being presented or shared is adding value to you, because you don't have to do the heavy lifting. It's there created for you. Boom. You just click on this, boom, and you have it, right? It's like while you're doing your coffee. So
Exactly. Yeah,
it's
it's awesome. It's such a great way to start my morning. I really appreciate it, Cornelia, putting all of the work into doing what you're doing and following getting the inspiration and doing something with that. I was pondering the fact that I feel like so many of us have these moments where you get those divine moments like I need to talk to that person, but we don't listen. Like the download happens and we don't listen. And so we continue to walk in the other direction. And over time, you know, those things happen less and less. And then we're over here screaming, God, give us a sign, or someone give us a sign for X, Y, and Z. And I need this, and I need direction. There were so many moments in the past that were leading you to trust, to follow that divine like intuition or that divine intervention that was coming, that you kind of just shut out of your life. And now you're asking for like some sign to fall from the sky and, some crazy thing to happen, when in reality, it's returning back to source. It's returning back to ourselves. It's like coming back and going, okay, like, a dear friend of mine, and well, I'm not trying to get way off topic, but a dear friend of mine, asked, like, how have you really developed this intuitiveness about you? And I said, it really starts, like, if I was to try to teach someone how to start developing an intuitive sense, start with the inconsequential decisions. Ask yourself, should I make a left turn or a right turn?
mm,
Trust your inner guidance. Your inner guidance is going to lead you maybe to a random coffee shop where you're going to meet your best friend or your business partner or whatever. You
yeah.
have no idea.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be with the big things, but you do it with inconsequential tea or coffee this morning, this or that. And you will start to really get a sense of, oh, that's a hit. That's what I call them, like these energetic hits. Like, that's a hit, and you follow the lead and you do as you're being told to do, and it's like, okay, these are the gifts that come out from taking that proactive step forward and saying, all right, I'm going to trust and I'm going to surrender. And so,
I love
yeah.
this or that, this or that.
Yes.
I love that. And even, even if you just take one day, like say, okay, today I'm going to play that game
Yeah.
and say this or that, left or right, that experience, and how much fun you're going to have. Because the reason why that's so fun is because you're going to be curious. You're going to be,
Yes.
and by all of a sudden you're fully 100%, every part of you is completely present, and you're so present, and you're so curious to see the signs, right? And then
Yes.
you're just going to be so led, and you're going to have so much fun doing it. So that's, I love this or that. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was such a great, thank you for sharing that. So I want to let
Absolutely.
everybody know that I in the below video of this, the
Mhm.
replay, I'm going to post the daily practice where people can join us. And anybody that wants to come in right now, I'm going to give it to you for 40 days for free. Come in and test it out, try it out, and see what you think. And I guarantee that you're not going to want to leave after that.
No,
So
you
then,
won't want to leave.
right after that, it'll be $13 a month. That's how much
Yeah.
it is. Less than a cup of coffee per day. So
Right.
there's that information. But here's what I wanted to do, Dr. Brooke. I wanted to have fun with you in this way. I thought, let's uh, let let me ask you a question, any
Mhm.
question and you don't know what it is,
I
and then
don't.
you ask me a question and I don't know what it is, and we'll just see what happens.
All right, let's go.
So, okay, my question to you is, what gets your goat?
What gets my goat?
Yeah.
Define goat.
Okay. What pisses you off?
Ooh.
What gets your goat? What pisses you off? What's the thing where you draw the line?
This is interesting. So I'm going to tell you because this is right on the surface for me. Things that piss me off is trying to say it nicely. Things that piss me off is people that are literally like going from doctor to doctor, person to person, trying to find the next shiny object or the next quote unquote fix without truly like figuring out like let me just dive my attention into something, whether it's my thing or something else and try to make something work, not moving from one person to the next to the next to the next to the next. So that was just something that, dealing with some patients earlier this week, I'm like, okay, this is getting my goat. It's getting my goat that they're being told by other practitioners also that they need X, Y, and Z and all these different things to fill these gaps and these holes in their quote unquote blood panel or their blood work. When in reality, the body doesn't work like that. It can actually fix all of the other holes if you just give it what it is asking for, people. Stop.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Why would you want to work with so many you know, doctors on the one thing? I think part of the people have lost their belief system in that something works, what's going to work, what's not working. I think,
Right.
you know, that's something to really take a look at, you know,
Yep.
like, do I believe this is going to work? Do I believe I can heal myself? Do I
Mhm.
believe, you know, these are all ways. Like initially when I first started out, back in the day, like in 2011, 2010, when I first started doing the emotional processing work, healing the core wounds, the emotional processing work of our past. When I first started doing that work and I started putting it out there to the people, I
Mhm.
had a rule that if you're going to work with a practitioner on healing these emotional core wounds and this kind of work, that I wouldn't work with you unless you just had me as your only person.
Your
Uh,
only voice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You get too many chit chatters going on in your brain. You can't even think clearly.
yeah.
Like you're at a loud concert and everybody's screaming. How can you hear the little whisper? It's like,
So that's, you know, that was
yeah.
the thing. I said that was the thing before I would accept a client. So that might be something, Dr. Brooke, that in your communication, when you're talking to clients, is that you
Mhm.
might want to put that into the intake form. That
I like it.
I think it's a good idea because
I
I,
like it.
I did that as a practitioner myself. I said, you know, when you work with me, you need to be the one to be able to say, go talk to this other person for an adjustment or something like that, if it's
Right.
health or
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
you decide, you know, who else is going to come help, you know,
Right.
help the
The
team.
the team, who the team is.
Who's the team? Who's the
Yep.
team? I mean,
Yep.
that's okay,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That
Yep.
part is
Yep. Yep.
okay. But like when you have one person that's saying, you don't need all these supplements, because here's the point. You have one person that's saying you don't need all these supplements, and you have another person over here saying, "Go, oh, run out and get magnesium, potassium, go buy all these other things." Or you have the ads on
Right.
TV.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started on that. That can go on for days. But I do want to ask you your question. Um, I personally have a relationship with you. I personally know you. But I don't know the answer to this question. I can kind of give my thought process behind it, but I'm going to let you answer it. I want to know in the next 8 weeks or so of whatever we have left of 2021, 6 weeks. What are you most excited about in this time frame? We're closing it down, not grand scheme, short window of time.
Yeah, I'm just sorting, releasing, letting go, clearing out of everything Like I had a dream that I had this big, huge suitcase and it was like so stuffed full of stuff. And that suitcase, showed me that, okay, I need to lighten the load a little bit. So letting go. So that's what I'm doing. I'm clearing, but I'm also activating for the new. I'm very clear with moving forward, but tidying things up, slowing down, resting more. Resting is very important. Balance,
Yay.
balance, balance, balance.
Yay. I love that. That's great.
So I just want to let everybody know, go to your app store, go to your Play Store, and get Media Group app, download it on your phone, create your free account, get the free ebook, and if you're looking for a practitioner, if you're looking for an influencer, if you're looking for the world's best, you're going to find them in the KS Media Group app. And if you're looking for a doc to really support you, Dr. Brooke is in there. You can find her in the app. So, yay!
App is
Wonderful.
amazing. KS Media Group, just in case, because it cut out on my end, but KS Kornelia Stephanie KS Media Group, in the Play Store or the App Store.
That's it. Go get it.
That's
Thanks
it.
everybody for tuning in. Dr. Brooke, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much and have a gorgeous day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.